In order to create a line of best fit given a set of data, the first thing we're going to need to do is open up a new tab and go to desmos.com/calculate. Now when we get there, what you're going to want to do is click the plus sign in the top left corner. What this will allow you to do is add an item. Now we want to add a table where we're going to input the data. Now you'll notice that there's x1 in the first column, y1 in the second column. This is going to be important when we want to write the equation of best fit, because if you delete values or create a new table, it may change the subscripts 1 to a value such as 2 or 3. So what we want to do is input the x1 and y1 values. So we'll enter 1, 2, and you'll notice that Desmos automatically notices that you're going up by increments of 1. So now we'll just hit the enter button and it will give us the rest of the values. Now we type the y values in, and you'll notice that as we do this, Desmos is plotting the values for us. So once we have all the values, if we want to see them, we're going to need to hit this wrench in the top right corner to change the graph settings. Now I'm going to change the x-axis to go from -1 to 10, and the y-axis to go from -1 to 100. Now I can see all of my points graphed. Now we want to find the line that best fits these data points. So we want to write an equation of a linear line, because this looks like a straight line. So we're going to want to use the form y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form. Now, instead of using y and x, we're going to use y1 and x1 because those are the names of our table values. So I'm going to type y, then hit the number 1, and it automatically does a subscript for me, which is exactly what I want. Then I'm going to hold the shift key, and I'm going to hit that squiggly button in the top left corner just below your escape key. So once I've got that, I'm going to type mx plus b, except instead of x, I use x1, and again I just hit the number 1 right after the x, and then plus b. Now it gives me the line of best fit, and it tells me my parameters. It tells me that m is 12.3, which is the slope, and b is -0.7, which is the intercept. Now it also gives me the r-squared values, which gives me the correlation and how well this data is fit by this line. The closer this value is to 1, the better the fit. Now oftentimes a following question is going to ask you to use your line of best fit to approximate the y value for a given x. So what I like to do is rewrite the function using the parameters that Desmos found for me. So I'm going to type f of x equals mx plus b, except m is 12.3 and b is -0.7. Now I'm going to hide the line that was given to me, doesn't really matter, but now I'm going to input, let's say it wants to know what is the y value when x equals 7. So now I can simply type f of 7 and Desmos will evaluate the corresponding y value. Now if I wanted to plot this as a point, I can enter a coordinate. My x value is 7 and my y value is f of 7, and now I get a point there. Now let's say I want to have a different value for x. Well, if I simply use a and f of a, now I can add a slider. And as I change the value of a, you can see that I move along the line. And if I want to know what the point is there, I simply need to click it. And it tells me that when x is 6, y should be about 73.1. So this way of writing an equation in terms of x is a wonderful tool to use your line of best fit to answer following questions. Now something else you may encounter is you need to estimate what the x value will be for a given y value. So let's say we want to know when y will be 70. So if I type y equals 70, I get a horizontal line, as expected, that passes through 70. Now if I want to know where it crosses my line of best fit, I simply need to click the point where the two lines intersect. And I get that x is approximately 5.748. Now you always need to remember the context of the question. So keep in mind the units for whatever data you're dealing with.